Hello, everyone. Taser2 here, and welcome back to the Lads Podcast. This is episode 3 of season 1, and today we got a guest. This wonderful woman right here, Kayla, my girlfriend, and she plays League of Legends professionally for college, and it's just great to have you on. So, we're just gonna dive right into it here, and as always, we start with our guest. No pressure.
Oh gosh.
Is that a tradition we always have?
It's now the new tradition.
I like this new tradition.
I don't like this new tradition.
Start. What did you bring to us
I would
today?
say maybe introduce yourself, or I don't know. What do you feel like saying?
Okay. My name is Kayla. I'm very socially awkward, hence why I play video games, specifically League of Legends, the most toxic community ever. The topic that I wanted to discuss today is the gaming community, specifically the gender roles in the community. And this is nothing like against anyone in a specific gender, and this isn't targeted, but I find that a lot of the times it even is female on female attack. Like they'll like make fun of females a lot more than males. And I find a lot more people are scared to hop into gaming professionally because of the lashbacks. Like if we look at the media stars today, and we'll see all this stuff about she did this, and like the whole Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp situation. Yeah, that was just a whole big fiasco. But what if it was the other way around? Really, it she just would have been publicly shamed either way.
I mean, you talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. That whole situation is really just a how would you say this? Just celebrities doing celebrity things.
Yeah.
And everything being over the top crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's the funniest thing about celebrities is they're like the.
It's almost like it's all a performance.
Almost.
But what about Pokimane? Pokimane is a pretty big gaming streamer.
Yeah.
And if you like look up her, there's a bunch of this, stuff that sexualizes her because she's female. And it can be said the same with guys too. It's not necessarily towards one gender, but I find that like a lot of the times when it's revealed that you're a girl or a female or you identify as female, people tend to downgrade your playing a little more.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has its advantages. Like it feels that much more sweeter to win, but it's also the reason why there's not a lot of like females who play video games professionally. Like there was one all girl, all female League of Legends team. Sorry if I butchered the name. It's Vavix Esports, and they did not do well at all. And that just proves to show you shouldn't like base anything based on gender or what people identify as, more so as skill. But the point is there's not a lot of females that feel comfortable going into the gaming community because it can become toxic, and we just allow it to be toxic.
Right, it's scaring away talent.
Yeah.
And as an industry, when you analyze that as an industry, that's pretty bad. You talk about like how esports makes money is high skilled players playing against each other. That's why esports is entertaining. But if you're not getting the best players, that's not as entertaining.
Yeah. I think what you're touching on is that women who play sports professionally are looked at like they aren't as able to play.
Well, more specifically gaming, like esports.
Like esports and stuff, correct. Like I think that partially comes from the mentality that gaming is like a guy's thing. Like it's like especially in like the early 2000s and such, it was always seen as like boys play video games
I think it's
and stuff.
also because we have stuff like, oh, women's tennis, guys tennis,
Yeah.
and we don't really have that for esports. And that's like, it's understandable as to why. But I think it's because us as a society got into this mentality that there are just nothing that a female and a male can do at the same time. Like, I feel like there are some stuff that both a female and a male are capable of.
And esports is one of those things where it truly levels the playing field because there's no
Physical stuff
there's no
involved.
physicality involved, like at all.
And I think like that scares some people, and that's why they act so toxic towards other people. I know that it's not every single male. Like the guys on my esports team are phenomenal. Like anytime anyone comments on me or this other girl, our gender, they'll like go off, and the whole esports will report them because
Yeah.
that's not okay. But I think we need more people like that, and it's not even in the professional gaming. It's just in the gaming community
Just
in
in general, yeah.
And because it's in the gaming community in general, a lot of females don't want to play professionally because they think that that's how it is professionally
Mhm.
too, even though it's not.
And that's the interesting thing about being on the internet in general, as much as it is gaming. You have a username. You don't have a name. Names aren't names are very, you know, it's your part of your identity, whereas usernames can be whatever you want. You can make it part of your identity, but it doesn't have to be your identity, which makes it very easy to just say, oh, I'm usually someone who doesn't just walk around the street and insult people, but I'm going to go on this game and I'm going to just harass people so much that they just don't want to be here anymore. And you get into that a lot of situations like that where people get their people just are so much meaner on the internet than they would be in person.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have any personal like attack. Like they're not putting themselves out there. They're hiding behind the mask of their username, so they can get away with doing more and more vicious things.
One thing that I do really like about Riot is, I mean, yeah, Riot has a lot of bugs and stuff in the game constantly. Like, we were competing in Clash on Saturday, and the Clash just, it was a mess. Because Riot just put out a patch, and I guess it messed up. But they are very good at finding people who are just harassing others on the game. Like, I cannot tell you how many people who have like blatantly harassed everyone in the game, and they literally got banned like within the next match I was in, because that's just how much like Riot cares about the community. And I feel like if we have more of those, like more people who are committed into making the games that they already have fun rather than pushing out new games constantly, especially multiplayer ones, I feel like that would be more investment than, just pushing out more games that just have a lot of problems and people harass other people in because you're not monitoring your games.
Right, monitoring is very important. And you mentioned Riot, which is interesting because I've actually had an encounter with Riot. Their reporting, or their reporting and behavioral, whatever you call it,
Mhm.
their team. And because I was playing Valorant competitive and I wasn't doing great, admittedly. KD was like just about one. Wasn't amazing, but the guy on my team was saying you're using more choice words than what I'm using now, basically saying you're awful, kill yourself. So I report it, nothing happens. So and I didn't get any feedback or anything like that. So they didn't say that they found it one way or the other. They'll only say that they banned someone. That's the only thing they'll say for Valorant. They'll only say that, oh, we banned them, or we received your report. I got no feedback. So I can't say I share your experience with Riot's harassment team being good, but maybe this one just slipped through the cracks. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. I also find that MOBAs generally like are less toxic compared to first person shooters like Valorant, and so that therein also lies the problem is that people think it's okay to kind of just be toxic because that's viewed upon as the typical gamer like personality, but it really isn't. It's not something that we should just accept. And yeah, sometimes people can get like really big on their views or just get really too sensitive. Like you could be like, hey, you did well that match, but you probably could have just done this and it would have been a-okay as well. Then people would just get super offended by it. But they were just trying to point out that there's also other ways to do it. And I also think that that's part of the problem as well, is that there's too many people who cannot take criticism easily, so people think that they have to be extremely toxic just to get
Like a
their
defense
viewpoint
mechanism,
out.
sorta.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just an automatic defense mechanism, and then it's just a back and forth the whole time.
Yeah, constructive criticism in gaming. That's something
Mhm.
that
Yeah, you don't hear that often.
yeah, you don't
No.
because well, I don't play esports professionally, but I bet if you're on an esports team, you do give criticism to your teammates and like things they got to work on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
because you treat that as an actual like you would any other sport.
Yeah.
And in any other sport, you would be like, "Hey, good game," and stuff like that. You're like, I saw something you made on this play. I think next time you could, or you could work on this next time." Whereas in most gaming, people take that way more lighthearted, and they're like, "Oh, you just suck," and they can treat it as though it weren't like a sport because they're just having a fun game.
like yesterday I was participating in Clash because Clash happens on Saturdays and Sundays, and I was trying to like talk with my teammates because I was kind of calling the shots. I'm a support player, so I was roaming around the map after 15 minutes ish, anyways. And afterwards, I try to have a discussion with the team what to do. But these are people. There's only one other person that's actually on the esports team. The other one's coming in this semester, so they haven't really gotten into the habit. But I started getting into the habit of just discussing what we could have done better. And then I just forget that not everyone wants to discuss what they could have done better because they already know and they want to be quiet about it. And it's just really hard to get out of that mentality to try and help people even though they don't want to be helped.
Yeah, it seems like this is what you're talking about is a problem that transcends just gaming. It's just like this seems like a personal problem in a way. This isn't just something that you have to confront in gaming. This is you have to talk one on one with this kind of person, and like because this you don't just run into this kind of problem in gaming. People who won't take criticism, right? It's even just
I-
like among other people.
I mean, I get that at work.
Exactly. It's like it's not just an issue you run into in gaming. So it clearly can't just be that we have to fix the gaming sphere or that there's issues with the gaming sphere. That there's bigger issues that contribute to what you're talking about. These type of experiences of people who just can't take criticism.
Yeah, and I think it's just a pride thing, really.
Right.
Like people think they know what they're doing, and when you do that, when you
Present them with the idea that
when
there
you
could be.
yeah, when you present them with an idea of improvement, it's always
Well, I'm already the best.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah they'll it kind of shakes their confidence, which is understandable, but you also got to be able to recompose yourself, absorb that knowledge, and say, okay, thank you for telling me.
Right.
Maybe that's what's wrong. A lot of people just don't they're too prideful to
Yeah.
admit when they're wrong. And maybe that's why not just the gaming community, but even with celebrities and other things, everyone will fight to the death. Like back with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard
Yeah, I
situation,
was
Amber
starting to
just
get to
fought
that.
to the death.
Yeah, she still kept like so the interesting thing about that was Johnny lost a similar case in the UK. It was pretty much the exact same thing. A little bit different, slightly different evidence, slightly different circumstances.
Well, he was actively going against the paper not Amber Heard.
Yeah, he was going against the paper, which Amber Heard wrote an opinion for. He was suing the paper, and then here he's suing here in the States. He's suing Amber herself for defamation.
Okay.
So that's where it's different from a legal standpoint, but at the same time, I'm convinced the reason Amber didn't win was because the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the internet said that Johnny should win, so Johnny won. Which is funny because the legal system shouldn't be affected by the internet.
Yeah.
But maybe it's the legal system affecting the internet. But we can't say for sure.
Yeah, that's the cyclical thing right there. Who's feeding who?
Right. I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory. Is that a conspiracy theory?
I wouldn't. How would you trace it though? Like how?
No.
What dots are you connecting? Is the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying the internet liked Johnny. So
Yeah.
Johnny won.
I think maybe the internet liked Johnny because, not to put any opinions, but maybe he was right and people saw that. And
I think he was right too.
Right.
But that's my
Maybe
opinion. That's
people-
not the court's opinion.
Right, but I'm just saying maybe the vast majority of people sided with Johnny because they
he
had
was
reason
right.
to side with Johnny.
Yeah,
Like, that might be the reason.
Yeah, I don't know if that's too anti-government there, but
Yeah.
I think that's why.
Yeah, I don't know. It could be wrong, but
Because that's the interesting thing about just crowdsourcing anything.
Mhm.
Like if you ever try to crowdsource knowledge, there was actually a TV show on Fox about this where somebody made an app to solve crimes. So they would post evidence of these crimes and people would independently investigate that, and they basically just took the majority and said this is the lead we're going to follow, and they solve crimes. But it was called Wisdom of the Crowd. I think it got canceled because the lead actor did something weird, and the lead actor did Hollywood scandal things, so the show got canceled.
As per usual.
As per
usual.
But I just take that show and I'm like, if chain of evidence wasn't a thing, and this wasn't just completely wrong to do, you're violating anyone involved in the case's privacy, and if you're wrong, it's even worse.
For sure.
If there wasn't 1,000,001 problems with it, it could work. That's all I'm saying. If I was I'm the lead investigator on this case, I'm gonna post my evidence to Twitter and say have
Let
fun.
them. Yeah.
Some police actually can get in trouble for that, and I find it
it's illegal.
Do you know if those people ever actually got in trouble for that? Because
Probably
they
not.
should. That's a violation of
The thing is, they
several
It was a
rights.
TV show. That's the thing. It wasn't.
That's still a
Yeah.
It was a
violation
TV
of-
show, and it was legal or whatever.
Maybe the TV producers get away with too much. Maybe it's not the actors. Maybe it's the producers. So they blame it on the actors.
Are you saying it's real?
No.
No, it's not real. It was like a not even a reality show, but a drama. It wasn't a real thing, but it would be cool if it was a real thing.
It would not be cool if
I
it
think
was
it
a
would
real
be a fun
thing.
social experiment.
I mean, there have been real situations similar. So what you're saying is the premise is that this guy takes a case and he's like, "Here you go," and he just sends it out to the public and they solve it.
So how it would work is they would make like a breakthrough in the case, and they
Okay.
would basically tell the internet to track that lead.
Okay, because like I don't know how often, but I know there have been cases of people like finding information on the internet, and then like a bunch of people go to work on it, and they pinpoint like where you are and all that in like a day. So this,
Yeah.
in theory, could work.
And it has happened before, but
Yeah.
not in the way where
You couldn't
like,
use any of it in court, probably. Is the thing. Yeah.
The police investigation unit, like the detective just went to Twitter.
Went to Twitter, yeah, because like
took the top most liked comment.
yeah, can you? I can't imagine a world like that's crazy.
Just say, here's the case. Most liked comments gets to solve it.
That's
Doesn't even matter if it's real. We're just putting the guy away.
yeah. You're going to jail, buddy. That's good.
We have a warrant for Barney the dinosaur's arrest.
He's too cheerful on those rainy days.
He's way too cheerful. There's gotta be something wrong with
him. You know
him.
the internet would put something like Joe Mama. I want an arrest warrant for Joe Mama. And stuff like that.
Joe Mama.
Bend over.
Yeah, I swear I saw Bend Over at the local pharmacy. He was doing some shady stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, and then like they actually take the precinct and they're like, we need to look into this Joe Mama fella.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Look at
Old
Mo Lester.
Mo Lester over here.
Or
yeah.
Mike Litteris.
Yes.
Watch Noir.
Shameless plug.
So I think we've gone
Off topic.
way off the rails.
Yeah.
That's what you get with ADHD.
So let me move on to
same.
more internet-related things. As we know from the show, I've mentioned it multiple times. I'm a cybersecurity major.
No, really?
I had
thought,
no idea.
I thought you were a zookeeper.
You know, maybe.
I mean, with these dogs around here,
it's close
kind of.
enough. Yeah, I have. Okay, so for the people who don't know watching the show, I have two dogs. One is a beagle, and the other one is a Great Dane Saint Bernard mix. So we got one tiny dog that's really loud, and then we have one enormous dog that's just lazy and scared of everything. So they're like the two polar opposites of each other, and it's chaos around here. Anyway, so let's talk about Lapsus. Lapsus is a ransomware game. And if you don't know what ransomware is, they get into your system, encrypt all of your files, make you pay money to unlock them. And it's pretty much one of the most prolific ways to make money next to cryptocurrency heists, which are even crazier, and we can talk about them in another podcast if you wish. Basically, all of them are North Korea. So,
Okay.
Not even joking.
I'll listen to that podcast. That's fun.
They've grossed like billions in crypto, just to steal money to keep their economy going. It's kind of sad, but it's also really interesting. So anyway, Lapsus is one of these ransomware gangs, and what they use to get into systems is something called phishing. Or phishing, or however you want to say it.
Phishing sounds better than pishing.
But phishing is like
Phishing sounds like something else that doesn't have the sh. Yeah, so.
Okay. Phishing. I've heard it both ways, but phishing's the more popular one.
Okay.
And phishing is when you send like an email or like a phone call or something to get someone to do something that you want, usually taking you to a fake website and putting in your login credentials and them stealing them. So yeah, it's usually an email from they pretend to be someone inside the company and say, hey, log into here, log into this portal you're used to logging into, click the link, log in, you stole their info. And they've used this with a lot of companies. Usually, instead of encrypting the data, they will just say, pay us money or we'll leak the data, because that's more important to these companies. They're really big companies. You're talking. They made a few techs. They did Sony, Nvidia. Who else did they hit? Yeah, they just hit a lot of different places, a lot of huge companies. They hit Sony, Nvidia, and there was another big one. Oh, Samsung.
Ooh. Okay.
They hit all three of these companies. Nvidia's was interesting though, which is why I think this group is just one of the more interesting ransomware gangs, around in this year. They, instead of saying, so they stole, what they stole is they stole the source code to a ton of their driver, like their driver software and schematics for GPUs and just a ton of things. It was over a terabyte of data.
That's a lot of data.
They stole a lot. They pretty much had everything: source code, employee credentials, blueprints, schematics, whatever. They had a lot, and it was bargained over NVIDIA removing the light hash mining feature from their GPUs. And if you don't know the light hash mining feature, it's basically something that in non-mining GPUs that NVIDIA sells, it just turns down the clocks whenever you're running a mining software, cryptocurrency mining. So they asked them to remove it. This was back in February. I think they actually did. I think they gave in, because that's a terabyte of data.
Yeah.
I don't think they would want that gone. I think they either did that or they paid them or something like that. Either way, I'm not sure if the light hash mining feature is gone or not. No idea. I didn't see that in any of the articles I read. I probably could have dug a little deeper. But I wrote this in like a couple hours at 1 a.m. So
Relatable.
So yeah, so that's what was interesting, because usually people would just steal money, but instead they wanted this feature removed so they can mine cryptocurrency, I guess. And just that was interesting, and that makes you wonder, well, what are these guys doing then? If not all of it's about money, and that's loosely related to money, but not all. Not all of that, and they're hitting these very high value companies. They're hitting Nvidia, Samsung, Sony. They're hitting a lot of places that are huge. So then you look into their forward-facing operations, their operations that are public. So you're talking like their actual attacks that they're claiming responsibility for. And just to kind of, build up some sort of popularity around this gang, which a lot of places do. It's not unusual, especially with hacktivist groups, which are, those people that are trying to do like vigilante type hacking, is they will try to build popularity. They can use that for a variety of reasons. Usually political. That's usually why they do it. But they said it was just for the money. How we know that it says just for the money is their Telegram channel. This is where they run their ops, which is weird because Telegram is a social media website.
Okay.
I wouldn't say a social media website as much as it is a social media, it's social media. That's the point. It's a public social media thing. They do say, it's kind of like Facebook Messenger, but also like Discord, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Where it's like, but it's like all encrypted. It's like, And like that's what they say, end-to-end encryption. So, but it's social media. You can join this Telegram channel. Now,
Like anyone.
now that could implicate you in a crime. Just saying, but
Yeah.
but you can join this Telegram channel and just be there and hang out instead of like like an IRC chat or wherever where it's like private and encrypted and no one can get into it except the people they want in. And they do all these things that are just not typical of any group that's like doing it for just money or even a political motivation. They post like polls to say like where they're gonna hit next, and
Where
people
we dropping, boys?
and people can vote.
That's odd.
It is. It is really odd, and it does make you think that they're just doing it for fame.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making a lot of money. Don't get me wrong; they're still making money, but it does seem like they're just destroying companies for the clout.
They're like hacking into all these big companies. I wonder, like, okay, if they can hack into this, what if they can like hack all of our personal info from like banks and our workplaces?
I mean, that's the idea. You're stealing information.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like the federal government.
Yeah, they could do attacks on the government.
Yeah, and it's scary to think that people can easily vote for that too.
Right.
It's messed up.
Yes, that's an odd one for sure.
So this is where you're thinking are they just doing this for fun?
I was thinking, yeah.
And I was thinking, yeah,
Yeah.
too. Because late last March, the City of London police arrested 7 suspects aged from 16 to 21, mastermind of which was an Oxford teen who was discovered in quite the interesting way. He purchased a site called Doxbin. If you don't know what Doxbin is, it's a public website. It's not even on the dark web. It's a site where you can share the personal information of others.
Oh, and it's not been taken down. It's just there.
It's apparently that's allowed.
Okay.
You know doxing, like you know that?
Yeah.
It's like you're sharing those kind of details on just people.
It's just on a public website. Like you could just find that.
I mean, I don't know if it's still up anymore with like all the turmoil around
There
it.
was a time when it was.
There was a time when it was, and apparently he managed the site extremely poorly. And the Doxbin community, well, they doxed him.
They doxed the owner of the Doxbin. That's gold.
Which is just comedy gold, and like, just makes me think that these kids were not professional at all.
Doesn't sound like it.
And
They didn't understand.
but
what
they,
were doing.
and it's just really just frightening to me. Honestly, frightening to me that there's children
Yeah.
just hacking enormous companies and getting a lot of this cryptocurrency and cash. And of course, innocent until proven guilty, but I'm gonna say
Probably
guilty on this
Maybe.
one. It's just funny that just teenagers were doing things on the internet for clout.
You see, when you put it in that sentence, that makes sense. But
Yeah.
the things that they're doing are not typical clout chasing.
Yeah, it's not. It's
It's disrupting companies, like
Yeah.
major companies.
I mean, we want to talk about other games that hacking games that were doing it for the
lulz.
For the lulz.
They're doing it for the vine.
Yeah, you say for the lulz. There was a hacking group. I think this was like somewhere in the 2010s. I think it was 2013.
Okay.
Lulsec.
Nice.
And they just hacked for the lulz. They took down the CIA website. They do so much stuff. They took down the CIA website. They were taking down like all the major tech corporations. Like I was saying that Lapsus was hitting. And they also even ran this campaign called Anti-Sec, where they would encourage their fans to break into websites and just leave that message: anti-sec, anti-security. So, and it's just for the lulz. They just cause chaos.
Well, I mean, at least they're pointing out flaws in the system, and they're not actively exploiting.
I mean, yeah, they are. They're stealing
okay.
information. They're doing
Well,
all
no,
this.
they're not stealing. Well, you didn't. Well, are they stealing information?
Yeah, they were stealing information. They were selling it. Don't get me wrong. They
Oh,
were doing
so there was
illegal.
Never mind then.
proper like criminal intent here, not
Yeah,
just like
there was proper and criminal intent,
So
but it was
for
just for the lulz.
yeah, I was
quote
about-
unquote for the lulz.
they're just sitting here like selling major like federal information. They're like, hee hee, I'm a silly little goober.
Yeah,
like
like I said, they just took the CIA off.
like you know those Little
like-
Miss memes, like Little Miss hacktivist, hee hee. Like
Yeah, and I'm sure I could grab more information on WallSec. They've been known, but like they're kind of in the same vein here, where it's just like kids,
these are that's the main thing here is these are younger kids.
kids in like there were some in the U.S., some in the U.K., and they were just they were like they weren't all kids. Don't get me wrong. They were in their 20s just
Okay.
about by the time they got caught.
I would say, are any of them
But
old
they're-
enough to be charged as adults?
But they're young adults, and they I think all of them got caught except for one that they couldn't find. Like everyone in the hacking ring. But like they're clearly disbanded because something that the hacking like community does a lot is they'll start infighting.
Okay.
If somebody gets too big, someone will try to take them down because it makes money.
Right.
And it's like hacking. It's a lot of power, at least in that space. So taking down the big guys is just cool.
Yeah. I mean, if these are clout chasers, that's.
I mean, not everyone's a cloud chaser.
But,
Some
like-
people are in for the money. Some people are in it for political motivations. But
True. But like,
it's not
what
like
a
you
way to
can't
show off,
do-
though, is the thing.
right.
Yeah.
And that's just fun. I just think it's fun that like teenagers are doing this for fun.
That's the thing.
Like-
how crazy advanced are we as like a society that our children can just take down a corporation like
Yeah.
that? Like that's scary power. I don't like.
I mean, we
that.
say children, and they're just a few years younger than us
It's kids.
because we're like
You're
we're like
20,
1920s.
1920s, like
1920.
You did say
Not that year.
1920s, by the way.
What?
You did say 1920s.
Yeah, I
By the
know.
way,
Well, I
we
don't have my
recorded.
top hat nor my monocle.
It's not the Roaring 20s. We're not in the Great Depression.
Yes, we
I
are.
mean, we are.
Yes,
we
we are.
all have
Yes,
the
we are.
Great
We're headed
Depression.
for one.
Well, let's say, have you seen gas prices and such?
That's a whole nother topic.
Just
discussed
wake me up
later.
when the NYSE just shuts off, and then everyone's just going, "What?" Like somebody walks into work and they just say goodbye and turn it off. Like,
Imagine
Yikes.
if you died and then someone just takes off a VR headset and say, "How was it?"
Yeah.
hey, so that was a
The
fun
good
game,
ending.
right? All right.
All right.
I'm sure that like some of the things I was talking about was confusing, maybe a little bit, and
Yeah,
maybe a
it
little
was
dissociated,
following it
because
yeah.
the information is not wholly there.
Not everyone is geek like
Yeah.
we are.
And
Like I'm not.
it's quite a story. I could probably talk for like an hour and a half on this,
But we don't have that sort of
but
time.
we don't have that kind of time. So I gave you the overview.
Yeah.
I hope it was entertaining.
I like
The
it, especially
quote
the later
unquote
half.
overview.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
overview.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Mike.
What did you bring for us,
Well,
Jamie?
I brought us not quite in the same sphere as that one. A little similar.
We're a
'Cause-
little all over the place.
yeah, I'm going back to the gaming sphere here. We here at the Lads podcast play Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know how many of our viewers do, but it's a fun game. And this one's actually kind of old news a little bit. Released or information about what I'm going to be talking about dropped in like April, but they've really started talking about it. The Dungeons and Dragons official YouTube channel has really started pushing it in the last like month or so. And I'm going to be talking about the updated Spelljammer campaign. I had to remember what it's called because the book set has like different titles and such. But yeah, the old Spelljammer campaign that was released in 1989 is
That's an old one.
Yeah, it's finally being updated to 5th edition. And official release will be August 16th. When you can get all the books. There's a free prequel adventure that's currently available, or I assume currently available, that you can download sometime in July. I don't know if it's like current, but yeah, they released a free prequel adventure to the updated campaign, and yeah, they released 6 new playable races: the Astral Elves, the Autognomes, the Gith, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I might be butchering this one, but the Hadozi, the Plasmoids, and the Thrycreen. I haven't looked into too many of those races, but they are quite fun from the looks of them.
I remember the GIF. Aren't they like fish people?
I think the GIF are hippo people. I know, and not all of these, by the way, are like new races either. A lot of these are like, or some of them at least,
They're
are
just
from
not
the original
playable.
release. Yeah, they were either from the original release or just not playable, and they've been updated and made playable. Like Astral Elves, they're old. They were in the original Spelljammer campaign, but they're updating them, giving them new features and stuff. And like I said, is there even any of the books currently available? I don't think so.
Yeah. I didn't see anything. At least.
Yeah. Most of it's up for starter sets available for pre-order. But
Yeah,
like I said,
that's what I saw. I saw that.
Yeah.
Because they were having ads on D&D Beyond because Wizards bought them.
Yes. But yeah, there's not too much to report here. It's just new campaign that I thought was really cool because it's not like most other D&D campaigns. It's in space.
That's awesome.
Yeah, most campaigns you play are like set like on a world, but this
at
one,
least on some
on
form of
some
world.
world that might resemble Earth. This one isn't. Like you're floating through the astral sea on these spaceships that look like weird aliens and squids and stuff.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and there's a lot of weird features. Like I didn't know this. I learned this from reading about the Spelljammer campaign. You don't age or breathe or need to drink or eat on the astral plane. Some of the astral elves have lived for like millions of years. There's not really much else in D&D like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I remember they also update like ship combat.
Probably, yeah.
From 5e, because 5e does have ship combat with the.
I'm unfamiliar.
there
we haven't had ship combat.
There was one of the adventure books. Oh, Waterdeep.
Waterdeep. Makes sense there.
Like Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Okay.
There was Dungeon of the Mad Mage was I believe that's when they released that. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not
entirely.
Yeah, I didn't quite come into here with any ship information. I was going to,
but I believe it's different in the astral plane. What actually happens?
Yeah, because movement and stuff is different in the astral plane.
Right.
It's not your movement speed. It's like your intelligence score times something and stuff like that. And your ships have different flying speeds.
Right.
And different attacks.
First of all, they have flying speeds, not swim speeds.
Yeah, because you're flying through the astral plane.
That'd be kind of weird to have just water just chilling in space.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The astral plane isn't quite wild space.
Yeah, it's not space.
It looks similar, but it's full of life. It looks like all the prettiest pictures you ever seen is like nebula and stuff, but with big whales and stuff floating around in it. Yeah. So it's a really cool setting. It's a cool story. I don't know much about the story.
It's like totally different from like
most D&D.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else like it except if it's homebrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's. Yeah.
There's not much official. It's like Spelljammer. Completely unique. It's its own thing, really. It's just space adventure and fun.
I'm excited for it. Probably won't play it because
We have our own things going on, plenty of them.
We have like about 4 campaigns happening.
Yeah, I was about to say nearly all of the players have
Yep.
have our own campaign.
We have like 4 D&D campaigns and a Cyberpunk Red campaign.
That we haven't played in months.
Well, you usually play it when we're away because for some reason Cyberpunk Red is easier to play in a virtual
Yeah.
thing.
Have we ever played it in person? I don't remember. We have.
Yeah,
Early on.
the first game.
Yeah, the first game. But other than that, yeah, Cyberpunk Red is pretty easy to play.
So, yeah, Cyberpunk Red is fun. I can't wait until they actually start publishing
Like adventures.
their adventures. I think they have one slated for 4th quarter of this year.
Ooh, fun.
So it should be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's this year, maybe next year. I don't know. But
No
they
idea.
do. It's soon.
Sometime in the coming time.
Yeah, less than a year away, and I'm excited. I want to, because the Scream Sheet adventures, like those mini adventures that they have in the core rulebook, are very well made.
Mhm.
They're also ridiculous, like the Emerald City,
Oh, that one was fun.
which, if you don't know, I'll try not to spoil it too much, but it's basically Alice in Wonderland, or not Alice.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. I don't know why I messed that up because her name's Dorothy, not Alice.
Yeah.
But it's basically Wizard of Oz except Dorothy sells drugs. Yeah,
It's a thing.
it's a ride.
Wait, so that was an official one?
That was
I
an
thought you
official-
made that one.
That was an official Scream Sheet adventure, and like that was officially written by Mike Pondsmith. Like,
My God.
blessed by the creator of Cyberpunk Red. And I tied this into our Red campaign. And our Red campaign was based off of the first adventure in the Jumpstart kit, which is the one where you like live in an apartment. And you have to go and get something. I forget what it was.
I don't remember what.
Oh yeah, you live in an apartment and you gotta stop it from getting torn down.
You're right. We fought off the
And
corpos or
basically what we turned it into was like their base of operations, and now they have like all these like allies. Dorothy is one of them,
whatever.
and she's like the med tech for them.
Yeah.
And then we also have like a Militech agent that now runs a bar after the previous owner got shot.
Well, let's say what happened to him. I don't remember what happened to the original owner.
They got shot in the.
I don't even remember their name.
In the start of that combat. Yeah, they got shot in the start of that combat, and now it's like owned by the guy that I just made up a name for him on the spot.
Good old Kent.
I was like, Kent. Yeah.
The best characters are always the ones you make up on the spot.
And now Ken is the bartender. It's an insane campaign because we don't really care about like the story being too like consistent or like correct with the world.
Yeah, like it was made to be our whoever can show up attends type campaign. So like it not all the characters are always there, and it's just if you can show up and we're not playing D&D, we're playing that essentially.
Like we've had them steal an armored truck full of cheese.
That one was good.
It's a fun campaign to play, but it makes zero sense.
D&D is just fun in general.
Yeah,
Like,
role
any
playing,
form of
tabletop role playing games.
Yeah.
Are fantastic.
Yeah, another one I wanted us to try is Blades in the Dark.
I haven't heard of that one.
I haven't heard of it either.
And that one's about where you're like a gang of thieves,
Ooh.
Oh.
and like every session is a score. So you like someone plans the score, and it's not like D&D where you have a GM. It's cooperative role playing.
I like that. That was like 10 Candles. We played that one.
10 Candles is another one. Yeah, I believe this one you actually do level up and things like that.
Ooh.
Instead of it being like one shot.
Okay.
10 Candles is also a really fun one to play if you have like no equipment and no time.
And it's like real quick.
And you have 10 wax candles and a bunch of dice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's all you need to play the game. 10 wax candles, a bunch of dice, and you have this pool of dice. You start with 10, and as the game moves on, you lose them. I'll explain it in a second. It's a really quick game. Basically, you're playing. Got to roll. I think it's at least 1-6, right?
I don't. We played it years ago.
Yeah, to be like successful. And your GM narrates.
Did we even have a GM for that game?
Yeah,
Really?
I was. The GM narrates, and basically what you want to do is you want to, like, the character you create has, I think, 1 flaw and 1 good trait. And, like, you got to act on one of those. And basically, you roll the dice, and if you win, you roll for every set. If you have at least 1 6, you succeed. And then you take away all 1s from the dice pool.
Right.
And that's like, it like represents your hope. And the more, and eventually, if you don't come up on a 6, you blow a candle out. You start with 10, and you go down to 1. And basically, at the end of the game, when you blow out the last candle, you perish, no matter what. So, at the end of the game, no matter what, you die.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for like kind of hitchhiking your topic here.
We were kind of. There wasn't much to report. It's a new game coming out. Check it out. It's
Spelljammer.
really cool. Spelljammer. Woo! I'm excited for
But
it.
yeah, I'll finish explaining 10 candles here. So basically, you die no matter what. So don't worry about like trying to survive or anything. Just try to make it a little bit better, because the game basically, the whole topic of the game hinges on hope. Like that's the idea, that it's like ever losing hope.
Yeah,
until
you're
you
just
just
stuck in
perish.
like a hopeless situation, but you have. a
And
little
it
bit
doesn't
going
matter
on.
what the setting is. It doesn't matter what you want your story to be. It just that's the, like, you can set it any way you want. And basically, you're just winning control from the GM when you roll that 6. So when you roll that 6, you get to narrate what happens to your character. Maybe it's something good, like that improves your situation. But if you don't get that 6, the GM gains control, and they have to do something debilitating enough that you would lose hope. And when you lose hope and you go down a candle, you also lose a dice from your die pool. So it's a very interesting game. If you need to make something quick, and you want something that's entertaining, and you have wax candles and dice lying around, play 10 Candles.
Good game.
It's a good game.
Very
You
good.
played it once.
Yeah, once several years ago.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good game.
Yeah, it was. We played it at night too, so it was very atmospheric.
Yeah.
Like outside.
We played it
at
at night outside at a picnic table.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Yeah. 10 Candles, fun game. Yeah. That's our.
I still don't have a question.
I like how not meta we make that.
Yeah.
I like how meta it is. Just like, it's just so like. Jamie doesn't have a question.
I don't have
no
a
matter
question.
What.
No, last time I did. I did have a question last time. I don't remember what it was.
Do you want to steal one
I'll
from my
steal one,
list?
yeah. You have a list?
I have a list.
What is this? This one's so scary.
Yeah, I don't remember what that one is.
Ooh!
It's my shorthand,
I
so
like-
it's not entirely. The one on the bottom is the one I'm gonna use.
Okay,
So don't steal that one.
I won't steal that one.
You can also pick one of the.
I don't
other
even
ones.
understand that.
Like, it's very shorthand.
I do like the questions you have left.
Yeah.
Except for that top one's scary.
I don't even know what it means, actually.
I like the other two though. Why don't you two go and I'll decide.
Okay. You want to start?
Sure. If you could bring back one endangered species, and by species I mean animal, what animal would you bring back and why?
Dodo.
Dodo?
Yo, same! Dodo!
Dodo, really? The bird?
They're just cute dinosaur bird.
That.
I don't know too many. Do you mean and just ones that could still be alive that are endangered?
No.
Or you mean extinct?
Extinct.
Okay. Then I'd have to go with, I don't really know a list of extinct animals off the top of my head. out default would probably also be dodo because it's the only one I really know.
Well,
that
because okay,
much.
so the dodo bird was just pretty. They're harmless.
Yeah,
they
and
did
they-
absolutely nothing to us.
Yeah,
But
and people
poachers
just
were like
hunted
good
them.
meat.
Yeah, is that why they?
I
hunted
thought they
them?
were no, they were dinosaurs, weren't they? So they
No,
like,
they went extinct in
No.
like the 1800s or
Oh.
1700s.
No,
Okay.
they went extinct in 19 something.
1900s.
Yeah, I learned that
No.
from
Fact
Wild
check.
Kratts.
Fact check.
I'm fact
I
checking.
learned
that.
that
I'm
from
pretty sure it was like the
Wild
17, 1800s. Or when the dodo went extinct. Yeah. Like it was in. it was
That's
within
my
the
brother
human
in the other
lifespan.
room concurring with us.
Yeah, it was like within the human lifespan or the human existence.
I thought it was like way longer.
No. We drove them to extinction.
Oh yeah, it was the 16. It was.
We were all
Oh,
kinda
we were
wrong.
all
1600s,
wrong.
we
It
were
was
But
all
I
way
was
wrong.
earlier.
less wrong.
No, but still, I feel like they were completely harmless. They were completely
Yeah,
harmless.
like they
I
didn't
think-
attack. I think that's why they were so easy to hunt.
Actually, I'm pretty sure scientists found traces of dodo birds still around. I think there was like a whole article. I don't know if that was.
I don't know. I haven't checked. I haven't seen that. I saw something a long time ago about scientists fascinated by a bird that they thought was extinct came back, and I was like, I didn't look into it much, but I was like, okay,
I just want
Well,
I just want the cool bird back.
cool bird. But is it cool? Is it?
It is.
Is it? Well, what is it? If it was so easy to hunt to extinction, is it?
Oh, they're dumb. Don't get me wrong. I just want to see one in a zoo. You know.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's
No,
fair. That's fair.
don't keep it entrapped in a zoo.
Well, if it's like the last dodo, what do you do with it?
True.
Wait, yeah. Are we only bringing back one of the species, or are we
No,
bringing back?
we should bring back two, a male and a female, so they can
Okay.
reproduce.
I would say, like, are we bringing
No,
back
it's
the
just, like,
species?
The species,
Okay.
yeah.
In which
I
case,
imagine like a whole population just appears.
Pops. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
I mean, if a whole population of them appears, yeah. I mean, I would at least keep like some in a zoo because are we bringing them back just like to endangered status instead of extinct, or are we putting them in like
Or are they just back?
Thriving.
Yeah.
And thriving.
okay? In which case, I would definitely.
Dodo would be the safest to do that to.
That would be the safest.
Yeah.
I would keep one as a pet.
Of course.
No, I want to bring the megalodon.
Yeah. No, I was thinking like
I
a
would bring
woolly
the
mammoth. Or, like,
T-Rex.
yeah, I was thinking like woolly mammoth, saber-toothed tiger. No, wait, any
Jurassic
animal.
Park, except it's the whole world.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine someone answers like an earlier version of human, like Homo erectus or something? Like, can you imagine that being the answer? There's just a bunch of like dudes walking around. that would be one.
Apes.
Apes, just a bunch of people, just some
Monkey.
dude, some monkey, just out here walking around, learning that he got thumbs. That'd be a sight. But no, I think dodo would be the safest to bring back to like a healthy population.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Kayla.
Yeah.
Taylor,
I have a question.
what's your question?
Oh gosh, what is it?
What's an ambition you just never been able to realize? What's something that you just like never just got to? Something you
Wait.
wanted to do, you just never got around
Something I wanted to do and never got around to. There's a lot of things. Do you mean like long term, like a long time ago I wanted to do it and I still haven't done it?
to it. Yeah.
I'm gonna need a moment. Kayla, do you have one?
Clean my room.
That's a good one. I finally did do that.
My answer is just my GitHub profile. Just go on my GitHub profile and you'll just see all of my ambitions. I just never been able to realize.
You have a list of them?
No, so GitHub is a website where you can store coding projects.
Oh.
So just look at all those, except the one that I have privated because that's a completed project.
okay.
That one is Russian Roulette New Game Plus Edition.
I remember you talking about that one.
And the description for that for that repository is just a card game made by a demented trans woman because it was made by a demented trans woman.
Okay.
Shout out to Angel. That was a brilliant game. I will never release it because it is, first of all, content warning. And second of all, it's not like that polished. I say it's done because the code is done, but it's not like there's no like visuals. It's just text based in a terminal. I can probably load it up for you guys after I'm done.
I'm curious. Yeah.
After we're done with the show here, but
we
yeah,
got
that project's never being released. But I just want you to know it's there.
That's a good project.
But yeah, just like my home assistant AI that I have going, I actually opened that project up for the first time in, I think my last commit was 2 years ago.
Wow.
And it is totally wrecked. All the open source packages that I use to keep it running have been depreciated or updated, so everything is just gone.
Oh.
And it doesn't work the way it should. And then I also have my other project, which is something that is very complicated. It scrapes news websites for their text for like a news article, and it's supposed to use natural language processing to analyze like bias and like try to tell like where like the intent of the author, just to kind of tell like, oh hey, do some like also just regular analysis, like hey, this was included in here but not here,
Okay.
and just kind of help support research.
Interesting. I still haven't thought of my ambition. I guess I don't know. When I was in my trade school that I went to, I really wanted to do animation, and I never got around to it. I did the animation for the project. Taking a moment. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to do a very big animation, and I just never got around to it, and I still haven't. One day I will, but I haven't even started storyboarding for it or anything like that.
I mean, if you need like equipment, I'll help you with that.
That's nice, thank you. But also
because I have editing software and
I can somewhat help with like the idea and concept of the
computer.
story, creating characters.
Thank you. But yeah, that's like, I guess that's the only one I could think of where I was like, I wanted to do an animation. It just never. You're right. Okay.
We're like miming to each other.
Yeah.
We're like,
because
we're
we're
like,
running
we
short
gotta
on
wrap
time
it
here.
up.
Yeah.
We're short on time.
So, Taylor, Kayla.
No.
Okay. Well, this has been the last podcast. No kidding. I have a question.
What is your question?
Let me see what my question was. Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. I gave him my list.
Yeah, I didn't have one. Mine is when is the most scared you've ever been?
Are we talking serious traumatic stuff or
we
funny
don't have to
answers?
get too deep on it if you don't want to, but like a moment where you got really scared, I guess.
Yeah, you could do something fun. You don't have to be like.
You don't have to.
Okay,
You don't have
Here's
to.
my trauma.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's okay. I'll like just give warning to people. But like
Content warning.
Well, no, not content warning. The scenario that people go through. So like I was walking down into the esports basement because we have an esports house at college, and then all the computers are down in the basement because that's the biggest room in there that we can have all the computers in.
Basement goblin.
And then I walked down and I didn't notice that my abuser was in there, and he was on the other side. I didn't see him until after my game, when he just got up and walked behind me and up the stairs. That was so scary because he could have just done something. And I think he was going to say something to me until we saw someone else coming down the stairs.
That does sound
Yeah,
terrifying.
That's
I would-
terrifying.
Oh boy, yeah.
So
I was just gonna
PSA,
do
That one's
just
something
like,
rough.
fun.
well, no, so just PSA, check the room before you go and
Yeah.
sit down and get comfortable.
Yeah, that's terrifying because that's someone who did something,
Yeah.
and that's just all. Don't be a creep.
Yeah.
Can we just say that?
Yeah,
Don't be a
we don't
creep.
support creeps here.
Okay, we need funny answers now.
I would say also didn't have I had a scary one, but no, I'll go. Sure. Several years ago, I might have told this story to one of two of you before, but one of our someone we used to be friends with and I had a bad idea taking a wagon
I love this
down
story.
a very steep hill. Okay, I'm glad he remembers.
Yeah, I love this
So-
story. It's great.
So we were going up the hill with this wagon, and my buddy, he was like, "Dude, we should hop in this wagon and go down this hill. We don't have any steering, mind you. We don't have any brakes, and it's an asphalt hill, very steep.
Yeah, it's like one of those.
It's one of the steepest hills I've been on.
It's like a part.
Mhm.
So it was at this church,
Yeah,
and they just have like a loop where you can
Mhm.
drop off people, and it's just like a hill. It's like a 35-degree slope.
it's steep,
It's
but little dumb me off his mind on pixie sticks was like, I'm jumping in this cart with you. This is a fantastic idea. And our other friend, he's standing over the side like, you guys are dead. And he was right. We go down this hill and somehow we're like, wait, we don't have brakes. Like we didn't figure that out before we got in. And we're trying to figure out how to stop this thing going full speed down this hill. I'm screaming like, ah! And I was going to tell our buddy who's driving, quote unquote, if we forcefully crash into the curb, we can land into the grass. He didn't do that. He cut the wheel and it toppled over continuously. I hit my head on the asphalt very hard, and he broke his collarbone.
That explains a lot. I'm
I-
kidding, I'm
I
kidding.
genuinely, I walked out of there several days later wondering, did I get a concussion?
Probably
I
did.
Probably.
I mean,
but it was like a minor one. I was fine.
you didn't even get
But-
did you even get a wound
a
on your
wound?
head?
No. I made it out fine, but our buddy, he had a broken
Broken
collarbone
yeah, it was
and
Well,
a minor concussion.
That's his fault. It was his idea.
And here's the
Yeah.
funny part. We were hanging out an hour before, and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta go."
Yeah, no, you said what? Don't do anything stupid.
And I said, "Don't do anything stupid."
and we did. I forgot that bit, but we did something very stupid. But I was
That was my sign out. That was back sixth grade.
no, I'd say that was like 8th grade, 7th or 8th. It was not 6th grade.
We were that stupid in 8th grade.
Yes,
What do you mean?
I
you're
do
still
remember it was
doing
8th grade because I remember my rainbow socks I was wearing on the day that happened and my suit. I remember first thing I did when we landed is I looked around for my sonic screwdriver because I carried one on me all the time, and I noticed, oh no, it's not on me.
Could
Where
you
is
tell
it?
we were nerds? in
I was a
school?
nerd.
turbo nerd.
I still love Doctor Who, but at the time I was like hardcore Doctor Who.
I knew that my friend Sierra
Mhm.
always said that you knew the exact millisecond that the bell rang.
Oh yeah, I on my watch I had it perfectly timed to the second, and I was able to determine which second the bell always rang on. And I would go ding right as the bell went off to
That's
change
great.
classes. Yeah, my teachers are like, that's fun. It would be like they would come to me and they would be like, so is it soon? I was like, it's soon. And then I would go ding, and they're like, thanks. But anyway, I guess that was the one time I could say I was the most fearful, just because I could have died probably.
Yeah, I was also thinking about a near-death experience
Mhm.
of me doing something stupid. I think it's a very I knew I was fine, but it scared me. And that's just falling.
Yeah, falling's a good one.
So, I knew it was fine, but it was scary to me at the time. I was just so I was climbing a rock wall at summer camp,
That's fun.
Oh gosh.
and the guy wasn't really paying attention. The guy on belay,
Uh-oh.
and I like my hand was sweaty.
Mhm.
Gripped the thing. I slipped off. I slipped off, and the guy goes, "Oh oh, expletive!" Pulls on the rope. I didn't drop far. Don't get me wrong.
I would've passed out.
I was fine.
I want to say, how old were you at that time? I would have passed out probably, depending on the age.
15 or 16.
Never mind, I wouldn't. But wow, that's fun.
Wait, no, I wasn't. No, because I wasn't in high school yet.
Oh.
I was.
13,
I had to be at least 14.
14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, because I remember, because I was like, I'm never doing that again.
I just see the look on your face. Oh,
That's the icing on the cake right there.
Because he wasn't fully paying attention.
Yeah.
I didn't drop far because it's like a
Mhm.
30 foot. I think it was about like 40 feet up.
Okay.
So, like I was getting towards the top,
Mhm.
but the guy wasn't paying attention, so I fell like a short distance.
Mhm.
But it scared me because I was falling
Yeah, and you were
40
at the,
feet.
Yeah.
And maybe call me sheltered or whatever. I'm also trying to think of the most fearful thing I've ever done on the spot, but so I'm probably forgetting something. But
I had that. I thought of my other actual one, but we'll talk about that later.
yeah, but that's that.
Yeah.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
That's a good one.
It's a good story.
It is a very good story. But also, we got to wrap this up
Yeah.
real quick.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Lads. If you did, make sure to share this thing because I don't pay for ads and I don't have the money to pay for ads. So if you guys could do some free advertising for us,
That'd
it'd
be great.
because we put a lot of work into the show. We get people around. We write reports for this. We have
Small
like,
reports on my end.
we have a bunch of audio equipment. It's a lot of work to just put this thing together, and just editing it is a nightmare. So I just hope that you guys enjoy this as much as I enjoy making them, and just share it if you do. Like the videos on YouTube, rate the podcast on Spotify or any other platform. You can get this podcast anywhere. I'm telling you, we got like 10 different platforms. Not even lying. Anyway, enough shilling. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Me, Jamie, and maybe another
a guest.
Maybe a
Who
guest.
knows?
Who knows? We just kind of throw these people on.
No.
Maybe force them against the will. I'm
No.
starting to hiccup now. Anyway, bye.
Bye-bye.
bye.